And this one is also my own personal pick of the week. And the reason for that is because I think this game does quite a lot with the way that the engine building works in this game. And what I mean by that is that there's only 4 actions in this game, and this is a game that uses worker movement. So you're going to be moving your pawn from one action to a different action every single turn. But the way that the engine building works is that you'll also get to activate additional cards above and below that action. And the way that those are going to get activated are from top to bottom. So it does matter the order that you put your cards there. And it does also present a really fun puzzle with trying to create different synergies and combos of cards that are going to work well together. There's also a main board with a few different tracks that players can move their tokens up to gain different benefits, and players will also each have a cart token out on this board that they'll be able to move around by using the various actions on their own personal player boards. And these personal player boards do represent the player's carts, and for this reason, the upgrade cards that go to the top of the board are called the cart upgrade cards, and then the upgrade cards that go to the bottom of the board are called the relic cards. But something that's interesting about these relic cards is that they do come with a bit of a challenge, because before you're able to add their effects to one of your actions, you have to build that relic card first. And any relics that aren't built yet are going to be sitting on top of your board, and they're going to be covering up a portion of the benefits or effects that an action might give you. This means that if you perform an action with a relic card unbuilt on top of it, you're only going to be able to perform a part of that action. So if you do want to be efficient with all of your actions, you're going to want to try and build those relics first. But the first of the 4 available actions on your board is the barter action, and this allows the player to move their wagon back to the Ignis location on the board, which allows them to purchase a relic, which, like I said, you will have to build before you insert it as an upgrade. But then you'll also be able to choose one of the free rewards which come with the barter action, which I believe are randomized from game to game, but they usually offer you some sort of resources or resource conversion. The next action is the Explore action, which allows you to move your wagon to any of the other locations out on the board, which can have a variety of different effects, but they mostly will allow players to convert their resources into other resources or into victory points, or even spend their resources to get additional actions. But these actions can do all sorts of different things, like get additional relic cards, move you up various tracks, or even gain you some of those cart upgrades, which you'll be able to add to your board and use again and again when you do perform the associated action. But the other way to move up those tracks is by performing the harvest action, because anytime that you do that, you're going to be rolling these 3 dice and then choosing 2 of those dice to add together, which will then determine which track you move up, because each of the tracks has a range of numbers at the bottom of the track, and whichever you fall into is the track you're going to be moving up, and then you're going to be also gaining any benefits for any of the icons that you land on. But that's not it, because you also get to choose if you want to take resources matching the color of that track, or rather than doing that, if you happen to roll 2 dice that match the top of the relic deck, you can actually take that relic card for free and then add it to your board. But like I said, you're going to want to build that relic as quickly as possible, so that's not covering up a portion of your board when it's unbuilt, and then also so you're getting the benefits of that action as quickly as possible. And in order to do that, you're going to be using the 4th action, which is the build a relic action. And whenever you do that, you're going to be paying the associated cost for that relic and then sliding it underneath the associated action to get that additional effect. But the game continues like this, with players taking 2 actions on their turn, moving that action token to a new location on their player board, and then also building up their engine by gaining more of those relic and cart upgrade cards in order to really get a ton of benefits from a single action. I really do love the limitation of having to start from top to bottom when you do perform these actions. It's really going to eliminate a lot of AP in the game, but also creates some really fun puzzles for combos. But you do have a little bit of flexibility, since you are allowed to skip cards when you do perform an action. You just can't go back and perform them afterwards. This mechanism is very similar to another favorite game of mine known as Deus, and if you're a fan of this game, I think you'll definitely be interested in this one as well, especially since this one has much nicer artwork and it's more focused just on that engine building and gives you a little bit more freedom with you being able to put those relic cards in any action that you want. But if you are interested in learning more about this one or checking out more on the game, I will have it linked in the description below.